Hi everyone, Grady from Lightstanza here, and today we'll be learning how to work with linears more easily with Lightstanza. So, first things first, this video is intended for anyone using Revit and working with linears. This video is also extremely useful for BIM managers, especially if you're in charge of building Revit lighting families at your firm. There are 3 ways linears can be stretched in Revit using the Lightstanza plugin: direct input, association, and linked linear families. While each of these are different, they're all easier than the conventional ways of stretching files for linears. If your firm has not set up families yet, then you'll use the direct input way. If your firm has length parameters but hasn't made an automated family yet, then use the association method, which associates parameters. In the case that your firm has set up the automatic families, or are using the sample automatic families we've made, you can go ahead and use the automatic method. Use the timestamps in the description below to find the section that's best for you. Alright, let's start by taking a look at the direct input method. There are 2 parameters that need inputs to work with this method: LS luminous length and LS IES basis length. The IES basis length is simply the length that's been assigned to your IES file. LS luminous length, however, is the length that you'd like to stretch your linear to. Now, let's go hear from Kyle and see how you can do it in Revit.
So let's say, for example, I have a 4-foot IES file, and I want to stretch it to be different lengths. So I have 2 linear fixtures here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this fixture. And using the direct input method, I would go ahead and I would click on the edit type. And I'm going to scroll down to where it says photometrics. And I currently have a 4-foot IES file assigned. And so first I need to set the Lightstanza parameter IES basis length to the length of the IES file. So right here it says 4 feet. So I'll go ahead and I'll put in 4 feet for the basis length. And that is setting the 4-foot basis length for this fixture type. I'll hit OK. And next I need to go ahead and set the Lightstanza parameter LS luminous length. And if I look here on the left, the length of my linear under dimensions, the parameter is called custom length. And it is currently 20 feet. So I want my LS luminous length to equal 20 feet. So I'll go ahead and I'll put in 20 feet for my LS luminous length. And then I'll go ahead and I'll look at this linear, and my length is 12 feet. So now I'm going to go ahead and enter in 12 feet. And that's all I need to do with the direct input method to scale that IES file for these 2 different lengths of linears.
While this method does work, and is great for somebody newer to Revit, I'm sure you can see how this can get tedious over time, since it requires you to type these parameters in every time you place a new fixture. Let's now take a look at the second method, which we like to call association.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the next method, which we like to call the association method. With this method, the IES basis length is going to stay the same for each fixture type, but we're going to go ahead and we need to associate the custom length parameter, which in this case on these linear fixtures is called custom length, with the LS luminous length parameter. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the IES basis length. And to do that, I can go up to the Lightstanza tab, and I can click on the button called Set IES Basis Length. And that's going to look at the IES file assigned to your linear, and it's going to take the length out of that IES file and populate it in this parameter. I'll hit OK. And if I go ahead and click on the fixture, and I click on Edit Type, and I'm going to scroll down, right here, IES basis length has been set to 4 feet, which is the length of my IES file. The next thing I need to do is I need to associate the custom length parameter to the LS luminous length parameter. To do that, on the Lightstanza tab, we have a button called Copy to LS luminous length. This is basically a copy-paste command. And what it's going to do is it's going to copy the value from my custom length parameter to my LS luminous length parameter, so I don't have to enter in the value for the LS luminous length manually for each fixture. So I'm going to click this drop down, and I'm going to go find my custom length, which is right here, and then I'll click the button Copy to LS luminous length. And to see this working, I'll go ahead and I'll click on a lighting fixture, and we see here my LS luminous length is 1 foot, but my custom length is 20 feet. So I'll go ahead and I'll click on the button. That succeeded. And now I'll go click on the lighting fixture, and we see that my luminous length is now 20 feet, which matches my custom length.
It is important to note, though, that this method can only be considered semi-automatic. You must update the family and hit Copy to LS luminous length each time you want to update the length of your linear. The final way that can be used is the automatic linked linear families. This method is the fastest way to work with linears and can be done by anyone so long as you have the proper Revit lighting families. To create the automatic lighting families, have your BIM manager refer to the tutorial video in the description below. We've also gone ahead and created some sample automatic linear families for your use. Find these below as well. But now, let's go take a look at how it works in Revit.
I'm now going to demo the third way, the automatic way of linear proration in Revit. For a how-to video on how to set up the automatic way, please refer to the link below. So in Revit, with the lighting fixture selected, we're going to look on the left over here, and we see that luminous length is grayed out. And so in the first way, the manual way, I had to enter in the value into luminous length of my linear length. And in the copy to LS luminous length, I was copying the value of my custom length parameter into my luminous length parameter. In the automatic way, as I change the length of this linear, the luminous length updates the length of the linear automatically, and it equals the custom length parameter. And so I no longer have to enter in any data into the luminous length parameter, and I don't need to run the copy to LS luminous length tool anymore. I'll show that again. If I press N40, luminous length is updated. And if I go and select these other fixtures, we can see that custom length is 44 feet, and that equals luminous length. And we'll go ahead and we'll make this shorter, and now luminous length has been updated.
So as you can see, once here, it just works. Simply stretch your linears and they'll update automatically. The final thing we need to look at is how to export from Revit to Lightstanza. Let's go take a look.
Now I'm going to go over how to do a basic export to Lightstanza with the linear fixture so that we can see the proration feature in action. So clicking on the Lightstanza tab up here, we have a button called Export to Lightstanza and select Rooms for Export. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Select Rooms for Export because I only want to export this linear room right here. And you can see here as I move my mouse, this X pops up. That's the room definition. So I'll go ahead and I'll click on that once I have it highlighted. And you can see here on the left where it says Select Rooms for Export, there's one has been added. So now to confirm this, I can go ahead and press Escape. It's Revit's version of Enter in this case, and I get the Lightstanza Export options pop up. So in here we can see that I have one room selected, and I'm going to create a calculation grid for one room. I can also go ahead and define what calc grid height I want, and we'll go with 30 inches. And the other thing that we can see here is under visibility properties, we have to read the data that's being exported to Lightstanza from a 3D view. So my 3D view that I wanted to export from is called the Lightstanza Sync View. And my filter to filter out categories I don't want is my Lightstanza Export View Template. And I'll go ahead and I'll export that. So exporting one room to Lightstanza is pretty quick. It will take in all of my geometry associated with that room, and it will take in my lighting fixtures, as well as it will create a calculation grid for me. Go ahead and sign in. And here we go, we can see our lighting fixtures and our calculation grid. I'll go to a 3D view so you can see it. This is what came in, so it cut out the parts of the model around that room. I'll go back to a plan view, and I'll zoom in here, and we can see that these lighting fixtures are all type LO1, but yet when I zoom in, this blue line is the luminous dimensions of the linear. And so the linears are different lengths using one IES file, but they're all scaled correctly in LightStanza.
Make sure to download the example Revit lighting families and explore these methods to streamline your lighting design process. Join us in the next video of this series for more valuable insights. Thanks for watching.